Hey guys, this is Carlos, your favorite Greeksican, here to tell you how you can reach out to us, connect with us, and let us know how you're doing, all through social media. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Pop Goulash, email us at popgoulash42@gmail.com. You can catch us on facebook.com/popgoulash. Instagram, if you want to see our amazing pictures, pop_goulash_Reuben, that's REUBEN, or we would love to hear your beautiful voices. Give us a call, 224-325-4235.
Strap on your ear goggles, bitches. It's time for some Pop Goulash, where Ka is a wheel and there are other worlds than this. I'm Reuben.
I'm Carlos.
And Dana is on vacay this week. So filling that void, we got the next best thing. Sitting to my right is the lovely, the young and gorgeous, large-breasted, voluptuous producer Jake. What's going on, sir?
Hey, long time no talk, man.
He's back. He's back in the saddle again.
First time meeting you, by the way.
Yeah. Nice meeting you too, brother.
It's a pleasure. You gave me beer within the first 15 minutes. I call that a success.
Yeah, that's the sign of a good man right there. That's why we know Dana keeps him around.
Sign of a budding bromance.
Cheers.
Word.
Cheers.
So how's everybody been doing? Jake, it's been a while since we caught up with you, so
True.
let's hear what's going on with you, man. How's Rags to Races, your podcast, been doing?
Man, it is coming along like gangbusters. I'm now...
Does it really bust gangs, though?
Apparently.
You need to take that shit to the south side, son. They need some help.
No shit. No, but I'm now writing for a website.
He just did the chocolate rain instead of breathing off mic. He
no, I coughed off mic.
He
that's
coughed
all.
off mic. Chocolate rain. Chocolate rain.
But no, I'm writing for a website now. I'm actually working on a product review, my first one. I actually this afternoon.
How are the fleshlights?
Amazing. You got to spend the money for the accessories, though.
5 out of 5 stars.
5 out of 5 squirts. What are you talking about? But no, he finally catches up to us.
Oh, sorry, I'm on a bit of a delay. We've been waiting for like 2 hours for my laptop to catch up.
With
and
whiskey.
I'm on my third whiskey already.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm writing a first review on an online training school for racers. And just this afternoon, I had a guest spot on another podcast, and they invited me to become a regular contributor to their show as well. So,
Rad.
it's going good.
Awesome.
Rad. And where can people find your podcast, sir?
Well, I do a lot of posting on Facebook, facebook.com/rags2races, all one word. I'm on Twitter @rags2races. Instagram is rags2races, and you can always email me at rags2races@gmail.com.
Hey, is that endeavor that you were speaking to us about earlier? Is that public knowledge? Can you speak on that?
Endeavor. Oh, yes. I'm also, if you are Chicago local and you're looking for podcasts via the Yak channel, I've also joined them as well. My latest podcast will be posted there soon.
Yeah, so sun's coming up in the world, man.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Well done.
Started at the bottom.
Now that
And only a few months before these guys did, so.
Yeah. Right on, dude. So.
Yeah, but we've got to split all of our money 3 ways.
Yeah, right.
You get to keep all of it.
What?
True, but I also get all the work, too.
Yeah, but you're also assuming that we're making money on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We are not. I will promise you that. Actually, I'm losing money on this motherfucker.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, so.
But it's for you guys.
It's all for you. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you.
I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it by watching you.
Dude,
You
honestly.
remember that commercial?
Yes, and you know what? I smoked a lot of weed. Who had cigar boxes to keep their weed in? We always kept ours in Tupperware. Carlos can't speak on it, so.
I thought everybody kept their weed in that little wooden box that also had the hitter.
Oh,
Inside.
the dugout? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who created that? The inventor of the dugout and for a one-hitter was the same dude that owned Crow's Nest Music.
Really?
Yeah. That's where he got the down payment to open the record store. He patented the dugout and made all of the money and then opened up Crow's Nest Music.
Speaking of weed, I've got a quick Peoria story.
Peoria and weed go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. So
Yes,
when
they
I was
do.
about 14, 15, walking home from school, I found a nudie magazine in the alley. Naturally-
As one does. I mean, if
Right.
you're not going to find it in the woods, the alley is the next best place.
The alley, yes. Put it in my pants, brought it home,
Ew, dude.
took it out of my pants.
You had better get your shit chested at this point.
And,
I don't know what the dormancy is for herpes, but Lord.
I had it for about 2 weeks. I get home from school one day, and my mom's waiting up in my room.
Oh, no.
Yep. And she says, you need to tell me what's going on right now. I found it. And I'm like, in my mind, oh, shit. She found my nudie magazine. I'm freaking out, right? She's like, you need to, I don't know where you got it from or why you're doing this, but you need to stop. She's like, I found this today, and she pulls it out, and it was like a bag of weed.
Whoa.
I didn't even confess to the nudie magazine, but apparently the tenants before had it hidden under the carpet at like one certain spot in the house, and
Oh, no shit.
she found it. So
Can
I
I-
was relieved to tell her that wasn't my weed.
Did you keep it?
I don't know what happened to it after that.
That
It
bastard.
got destroyed.
I didn't care. I was 15 years old, and I had a nudie magazine.
Dude,
And that was in a time of like where there was no access to it on the internet, you know?
true.
Yeah.
But
you
I
had to
don't know,
go
dude.
somewhere to get it.
Even still, for me at 15, a bag of weed or a nudie magazine, I may have had to go for the bag of weed. Honestly. I mean, it's a bag of weed. That shit's currency, son.
Yeah. Priorities.
Right? I suppose so. Oh, man. Yep.
All right.
It's That's Pop Goulash for this week. No. Oh, man.
She's not impressed, by the way.
No.
No.
We actually have a in-studio guest who's not on mic, our friend Bree from work.
Featuring
for,
a live studio audience.
live studio audience. This week's edition of Pop Goulash was filmed before a live studio
Hey,
audience.
didn't they used to say that before Cheers?
Yeah,
Before every episode? Yeah.
absolutely. I wonder what the legality of that was. If they had to say that. That or they were just like, look, it's not a canned laugh track. Even though there was probably like a big light that flashed at him that said, laugh, motherfuckers, laugh.
Right.
Well,
Right.
that, and you got to figure, too, that's also almost more like they're also doing a play where most TV shows, they film a snippet here, film a snippet there, but it's all completely out of order.
All the
Yeah.
new single camera shows like Modern Family and all of those, yeah.
Such a good show.
Dude, Modern Family is dope.
So, yeah.
Like I was telling you guys, and I'll talk about it a little later, but I went to the movies last night, and we have a theater next to or a theater that has a bar in it here, and which really at this point isn't novel. They're kind of popping up all over the place, but this was one of the first ones around here. And so we're sitting at the bar, and I'm having a whiskey, and actually I'm having a rye because you have
He's
to
fancy.
Gotta be fancy bitches.
He had his pinky sticking out when he took a sip.
so fancy.
Swirling the ice in the
Can't
cup.
you catch this goat? So I'm sitting here drinking, and we're just shooting the bullshit. And all of a sudden, I just see the most glorious sight I've ever seen, and it was Sofia Vergara's rack, like on the TV. And I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. What were you saying? And they're like, I'm more like my one. Tom was like, nah, I'm more of like the Julie, whatever the mom, the other mom on the show. Well, yeah, she's pretty.
Julie.
Julie.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's a good looking woman.
Julie Bowen.
Julie Bowen, that's right. Yeah, she's good looking, but she ain't no Sofia Vergara, man.
I don't know, man. I would put her over Sofia Vergara.
You are not the man. But yeah, I got distracted. I got distracted pretty easily last night.
All your Sophia belong to us.
Yes. So she did that movie with Reese Witherspoon that wasn't so bad, and I'm not a fan of Reese Witherspoon at all.
I have no idea what you're
I
talking
remember when
about.
she dated Tom Green.
Who dated Tom Green?
Reese
Reese
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon did.
What?
Oh, yeah.
She did,
I
yeah.
knew that.
I had no idea. I mean, I knew it was, what's her name? Gertie.
Who the hell is Gertie?
Drew Barrymore. She played Gertie in E.T.
Oh, yeah.
Phone home.
Hey, you were talking about Golden Girls.
That does sound like a Golden Girls type
Right.
name.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe but I swore Reese Witherspoon dated it. Maybe it was Drew Barrymore.
No, Drew Barrymore did. She was there
I
when
know
he had
she
his
did, yeah.
testicle removed.
Yeah, that was the whole "my bum is on your lips" time frame. She was
Yeah.
dating him. I remember that. Wasn't that also the same time she flashed? What's his name?
Letterman?
David
Yes,
Letterman.
Letterman.
I think it was a few years prior to that. So,
Everybody remembered that.
yeah, right?
David Letterman remembers it more than anybody.
Oh, I'm
else.
sure he does. Pervert. He was banging everybody on his staff.
Madonna brought him used panties once too, if I remember.
Well,
right.
he and Madonna had like a running thing for years. Like they were just they had this like flirtatious spat for years. It was really
gross.
Yeah,
Just like our
Bree just pops up
audience
and-
said.
She's like, "That's gross. That's just gross. That's weird."
And you got
Well,
Paul.
I mean, can you only imagine if they'd have had kids, the gap between their front teeth, how bad that would have been?
They would look like Goofy.
you got Paul Schaefer getting the short end of the stick all the time.
Fuck Paul Schaefer. That guy annoys the shit out of me. He might be a talented musician, but looking at him, I just want to punch his fucking face. Yes, fuck that guy. Like,
Well, it's Himbrovs. It's all the same thing. Hey, we're going to the store. Hey, we're going to a funeral. That's pretty much all his music right there.
Paul Schaefer?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking Randy Newman?
Well, there's that too, but no, Paul Schaefer.
Left foot, right foot. Left foot, right foot. Hey, look, there's Randy Newman singing about all the things that he's doing right now.
Best late night band though, The Roots.
Oh, I would say
Jimmy
that.
Fallon.
By far.
Dude, I realized, like, listening back to, like, all of our previous episodes, because I like to hear the sound of my own voice.
Shocker.
But I notice anytime somebody mentions a band, I'm like, I saw those guys at... I'm all like,
have you seen The Roots?
No.
I'm like all fucking humble bragging
The old
about
episodes was, I saw those guys. They suck.
it. Yeah.
As long as it wasn't Pearl Jam, then it's a different story.
Or Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I have seen a lot of shitty bands, though.
So have you seen The Roots?
I have seen The Roots. They're fucking amazing. I saw them at the Chicago Theater.
Fuck you. As you said to me earlier, you are not the man.
Dude, they're playing Northerly Island in like 2 or 3 weeks.
You keep I don't. Does that place still
Maxfield.
exist?
Yes.
Okay, they just call it Northerly Ireland.
It's called, yeah.
I
it's,
still can't say it. Northerly Ireland.
The first Merritt Bank Amphitheater at Northerly Island.
Fuck you all. It's Meigs Field.
It's Mixfield.
It will always be Comiskey.
What?
I got you. I hear what you're
Thank
saying,
you.
Carlos.
Thank you.
I got you.
Appreciate that.
What is it now? The
U.S. Cellular.
No, it's not the cell anymore.
It's Guaranteed Rate Field.
That's
What?
the dumbest fucking
Yeah.
name
No,
for.
it's not.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
Guaranteed Rate Field.
And for the record, it will always be Sears Tower.
Yeah,
Spelled Willis, but
right.
pronounced Sears.
Tower. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you ever come in, and I look, I don't give a shit. Look, we're very Chicago centric here. I don't give a shit. People get all like, but I don't call it the Chi. Nobody calls Chicago the Chi.
Chirac?
Yeah, nobody calls it Chirac either. I've never
Not for about 10 years.
I've never met anyone who is-
Chicago. You got to
Yeah.
get the accent
Yeah.
on it.
maybe I don't know. Maybe
Get a
it's
hat dag.
a hot dog.
You
Where's-
like dags?
I need a beef. I need Italian beef.
You know what movie that is?
What?
You like dags?
Oh, dogs. Yes, I like dogs.
Yes.
Periwinkle Blue. Yes, I've seen Snatch multiple times,
Nice.
and I'm talking about the movie.
Oh Jesus! You had to take it down that route, didn't you, Jake? I was just gonna say, hey, go in the French room and get me my garage key.
Go home, Chicago. You're drunk.
Yeah. All right, that was our.
Well, I mean, it's no worse than Boston, because if you lost your khakis in anywhere else in America, it's your pants, but there it's your actual car keys.
your khakis.
Yeah, Boston in the fall.
Yeah.
Never been to Boston. Eventually, one day I shall go.
It's more than a feeling.
They've got a sandwich out there that's notorious for Boston. It's the Permane Brothers. They put this sandwich out, and it's got the corned beef, bunch of fries on it, coleslaw, everything else on top. It's a huge sandwich.
It almost sounds like the Horseshoe down in Carbondale. Or not Carbondale.
I'm surprised that you know that.
U of I.
Because that's really...
It's very local.
It is. It's indigenous to Central Illinois.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in Peoria, Carbondale, Bloomington, Morton, that's where you can get a horseshoe.
Yeah, and it's a massive fucking thing. I think I saw it on not Bizarre Foods. It was on Man vs. Food one time.
You want to tell them what it is?
I don't even know. All I know is it's massive
Well,
and it's got
I
a
can
ton
tell
of
you.
shit on it. I know you can. You're from there.
I know I am.
I know I am,
awesome.
but what are you?
Where are you from, Reuben?
A-Town, bitch.
Yeah.
He
All right.
Born in
lived next door-
Rizays.
He lived next door to Wayne and Garth.
Yes, I did. I think I got high with them once or twice, too.
You peeked on them in their basement.
It was a party time, and it was excellent.
All right, so a horseshoe is 2 pieces of Texas toast. Then you've got your meat on top. It could be whatever meat you want. Mostly, though, it's hamburger. Then you've got a shit ton of fries on top of that. And then a bunch of melted cheese all over the top.
Also known as the heart attack platter.
Yeah.
See,
All right.
you're from Central Illinois, too, so you're very familiar with the good old classic Central Illinois, the pork tenderloin sandwich, where it's pounded flat and it's like 2 feet in diameter, and the bun, it sticks out like a foot from either side of the bun with some pickles on it. Yeah.
That's good shit right there.
Yes, it is.
Well, since we're on food and sandwiches at this point, I had an amazing burger experience recently.
Where?
That's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to bury the lead a bit here, but where do you guys feel the best burger in our area is? And you know what? I'll even go as far as to say fast food burger. Because we're not going to put Kuma in there.
Don't even say
fucking
instantly what I thought was like some of the places I know in the city and Kuma's.
Don't say Five Guys. Because I hear that all the time. And it's
Five Guys is good. They're not great.
Yeah, but they're not the best.
Good.
I've heard people call them the best.
Like high-end fast food, too? Like the you order just the place where you're like...
Fast casual?
Yeah, kind of like
Chipotle
style?
I would put fast casual in on that level. So what would you guys say was best cheeseburger you've ever had, fast casual or fast food?
Smash burger.
No. I had Portillo's.
I would say you're both wrong.
Don't be saying no Wendy's shit.
No. Have you guys ever...
I'd kill for a Baconator, though.
Have you guys ever...
I would like son of Baconator.
Nice. Is that like the son of Svengoolie?
Yeah. I miss him, by the way.
He's still on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
Same
Svengoolie
guy?
now. Yeah, Rich Koz has been doing it since like the late
Not like the
70s.
Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah. But no, have you guys been to that burger joint?
No.
It's attached to... that's what it's called, that burger joint.
Oh, no, I haven't.
And
That's your
they're-
gas station, isn't it?
No. They're attached to Oberweis.
That's right, because it's a
Really?
shoot off over Oberweis.
Yeah, there's one over in Wheaton off of 38.
Yeah,
I
because
think
you
that's
can get the
closest
shake,
one.
you can get the burger.
But
all right there.
Dude, probably one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Really?
Absolutely, hands down. Fantastic
I'll have
hamburger.
to check it out.
And then, like, the weird thing, though, is, like, you go in, you order your burger, and you order a milkshake. You have to go into the Oberweis section to get your milkshake, and then you have to walk the fuck back over for your burger.
They need to fix that.
Well, I don't give a fuck. It was a good burger. I would definitely go back, though. Dude, like, it was juicy. It was seasoned. Like, I like Portillo's burgers, but they cook the fuck out of them, and they're dry. Same thing I feel about Smash Burger. They got that crust on them, which is good, but they're way salty. Like, this is just, like, the perfect fucking burger at that burger joint. So that gives my seal of approval. Despite that I don't like the Oberweis family. Because I went to high school with a bunch of their kids.
And that guy is crazy. He ran for government several times.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy would run for fucking crossing guard just to get elected into a position.
I remember one of his paid-for commercials was like, we could fill up an entire stadium of Mexican immigrants. And it was this whole... I don't know what the fuck it was. Anyway, that's all I remember.
Well, yeah, because he was the one that was running on the platform of, we need to get the illegals out of here.
Right,
and then you come to
exactly.
find out how all of his dairies were, like, employed by 90% of illegal
illegals,
immigration or illegal immigrants. Fucking ass.
You know who else makes a good burger is Three Floyds in Monster, Indiana.
I've not been to Three Floyds yet.
Really good.
I need to go there for one of their beer release days, though.
Dude, try to get in there for the Dark King or whatever, Dark Lord. What is it called?
Does
it come in a bomber?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can only get it one day a year.
Yeah, and you have to buy tickets for it in advance.
Oh yeah.
And you're not even guaranteed to get one. You get a ticket and you're not even guaranteed. It's like getting a lottery ticket back when like fucking Ticketmaster would give you a ticket for like to buy tickets. You're like,
yeah.
And then it was always one asshole that walked up 4 seconds before before they did the actual lotto. They would get the first fucking person in line to get the best tickets, and you want to stab them on the way back to their car.
But
I have anger issues.
Yeah, you do. Well, you're drinking whiskey. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Anyway, my first
tastes
experience there, I went on a Saturday morning, right? I think they open at 10 Saturday morning.
Or beer 30, whatever.
So we figure if we get there at 9:15, we're good, right? Pull into the lot at 9:15. There's probably a line about 150 feet long already.
Shit.
Oh, that's like when I used to try and go to Hot Doug's when I lived 2 blocks
dude.
away from
Right.
Hot Doug's. You'd go.
Wrapped around the
it
corner.
doesn't matter what time of day you went there. And I tried, especially the worst time was like a week before they closed. I tried going there,
And they were only open from like 11 to 2.
yeah, it was ridiculous.
So people when you go to Three Floyds, you can go to the Just the Store, which is a little room. Go in and grab your beer, come and go. But the actual restaurant where you can get beer on tap that they don't have bottled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we waited for probably an hour
Oh, wow.
to get in, but it was worth it.
Oh, I'd
Really?
imagine. Dude,
Go during lunch though, because they earlier the better. They play really, really loud death metal over the speakers in the restaurant. Like
Sounds
It's
like
like
Kuma's.
a little bit, yeah. I mean, to the point where it's hard to hear the person across the table from you.
Sounds like
Kuma's.
the original Kuma's. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one in Schaumburg's not so bad, but the original.
No, the one in Schaumburg, I suppose, has to tailor to the suburban crowd.
Well, they still play death metal.
Oh, they
still
do,
have
but
the
it's
same
just
videos
not
on
as
the
loud.
screen. It's just not quite as loud. Yeah.
I heard Hot Dogs opened again though, or a
He
shoot
worked
off
a
of
deal
it.
out. He worked a deal out and is selling. He has a stand in Wrigley Field.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got to get. He's
Dude,
making
hot dogs
money on
was
that.
so good. Did you ever... Oh. Are you familiar?
They had
Okay.
like 20 different hot dogs you could get.
Dude, the
Yeah.
best
I
way
used
to get
live
it...
in that neighborhood, and I never actually got to eat there
Really?
while they were open. No, every time I go there, I didn't have enough time to wait in line
shit.
because I had to
Dude,
go to work.
You had to get
I
them
worked
like...
second shift. I had to leave at noon.
You had to get them deep fried and grilled. Because you could get them like any combination. They would deep fry your dog, they would grill your dog, or you could get a standard boiled. So you could eat... I would always have them grilled and deep fried. Oh, they were
And
so
you're
good.
lucky if you find a table. by the
Yeah.
way.
And Fridays, they would have duck fat
Fat
fries.
Yes.
Oh, they were
No,
so
it's good.
fucking
It's
good.
good.
Like, that was just like, oh, man. It was almost like if you jizzed on it, it would be considered poutine. That's just how fucking delicious they were.
Somehow every podcast jizz works its way into the episode.
Well,
Aren't you impressed with yourself in that way?
yeah.
Yeah, not so far on mine, but we talk about race cars.
Right.
So, I mean, I suppose I could work it in somewhere, but it hasn't happened yet.
I lived in Chicago for about 8 years. You know what I didn't do the entire time I was there?
Jizz on a
Jizz?
hot dog?
Well,
We all had the same.
yes, but go to the top of the Sears Tower.
Really?
Never anything I did.
Dude, you saw
I don't know if people live there actually go to that. I
No.
think that's more
You know, I
tourist
did
type
it when
stuff.
I lived down south. I
Yeah,
went up
I've
there.
I've been to the top a couple times. I want to go now that like they have that weird like thing
That's
where
the
you can go full-
Hancock.
Oh, no, that's the Hancock that leans out.
I'd still do it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Because like I look at it this way: there's one of two outcomes. One, you get like a cool experience, like leaning over the side of a building. Two, you fucking fall to your death, and my wife gets paid. Either way, and she would probably be happy either way.
The Sears Tower has that glass room that comes out over the edge.
Yeah,
A layer of that cracked at one point.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
there
were
were some
on it.
people standing on there taking a picture, and the bottom started to crack and shatter.
That would like tell me that I needed to put the hot dogs down, step away from the glass floor ceiling. I wonder if there were German people like sitting underneath it, like Scheiße Essen.
That's so wrong.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. So
Rudiger and Klaus aren't here.
yeah, right. Oh man.
Klaus.
Yeah.
I think my German name would be Helmut.
Helmut. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a dope ass name.
Right?
Right. Nice. So, all right. Well, let's get into this shit. We're about 23-ish minutes in. So,
All right.
what have y'all bitches been consuming? We'll let the guest go first.
All right. So, Really haven't been watching a lot of movies lately, but the last one I watched, I rented Fast 8, Fate of Furious. And honestly, I agree with you on that. I have always been a fan of the franchise and loved the first 7 movies. The second they were in the theaters, I was getting tickets to watch them in the movies.
Dude, Star Wars is the only series that you could say, well, the first 7 movies.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. But I really enjoyed the first 7. And the 8th one I was a little iffy about from what I saw. Not to mention Paul Walker's obviously not in this one. And I waited for it to come out on video. I rented it and watched it. And I was very disappointed, actually. It was a good shut your brain off and enjoy yourself movie, action adventure. But it reminded me more of like a Brosnan era 007 movie as opposed to a Fast and Furious franchise.
Dude, that was like my era of fucking Bond movies.
Me too.
Up until like Daniel Craig came in and with his like fucking 6-pack abs and his sexiness and his like kicking acidness. That guy kicks some fucking ass, man.
He does, and it's a good shift for their movies. However, the gadget tech and the bullshit and cars chasing down a nuclear submarine over a frozen bay. Come on. That's not what the original series was about, and it's just drifted so far from what it originally was. I can't watch it. It's just not right.
Looking at the cast and crew, there's actually a guy from Game of Thrones in there.
Really? Which one?
Yeah, the Wildland.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah. He was
Hibgu?
good, and he was good.
That dude's fucking hilarious.
He was good in the movie.
He still wants to bang Brenna Tarth. It's amazing.
Vin Diesel, The Rock, of course, Jason Statham, Tyrese, Kurt Russell, Ludacris.
Tyrese is dreamy.
Oh, the whole cast was amazing. The acting was good, but it just didn't fit for what the franchise is.
Michelle Rodriguez, who was also on the show Lost.
Yes, and also got in trouble for DUI in Hawaii.
Yeah, where they're filming Lost. Where they filmed, yeah. Paul Walker's hologram.
Yeah, he was with Tupac.
They were in like a behind the scenes. No, like they were extras.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle, that ain't your wife.
So I haven't seen. Last one I saw.
What's her name from Goop was in the movie.
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yep.
Last one I saw was 2, Fast and Furious 2.
The last Fast and Furious movie I saw was
none
of them. I've never seen one of them.
Gwyneth Paltrow was the villain in the movie.
Isn't she the villain in every movie?
No, because she wasn't in Shallow Hal.
Dude, she was the... Dude, fuck you. She was the villain in Shakespeare in Love, okay? Fuck that.
But she did okay. I mean, like I said, the characters, acting, everything was...
She's the villain when she plays Pepper Potts in the Iron Man trilogies.
Everything about it was an okay, shut-your-brain-off action-adventure movie. It just didn't live up to the expectations I had for the franchise.
That's kind of how I felt about the last Indiana Jones film.
By the way, like Triumph, the insult dog, I keyed when it comes to Paul Walker.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just so you guys know, we don't want people writing in saying, "What's wrong with you, dude?"
Yeah, but...
I have an uncle that used to race cars.
Right. I had, like, a dude that I used to know whose cousin's brother's second cousin's friend used to, like, race cars back in the day, so I take offense at what you said.
Well, my issue is it isn't the Paul Walker jokes, it's that nobody remembers the pro racing driver that was actually driving the car when they died.
Yeah.
Can anybody besides myself tell you what his name was?
Nope, because Hollywood overshadowed that whole deal.
Roger Rodas, he was actually an up-and-coming race car driver. He was a great pro. And what it comes down to with that accident actually was old tires, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep. That car was 12 years old, and it probably had the original tires on it from the factory. And as tires get old, think about like rubber bands. They get dry, and they start to crack, and they don't grip.
I don't think I've ever had a car where I haven't had to replace the tires at least once.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, after about 6 or 7 years, even if you're not driving the car, they've lived their life, and they're dry-rotted.
Yeah.
But
so then again, it was Paul. But you would think if Paul Walker was such a car dude, he would have known that. So it's kind of his fault.
Well, I mean,
it's
because it was his car.
Was it his car?
No, his tuning shop owned it.
So they just brought it for that that day of release?
They bought the car, and they had what was going on. They had like a car meet and auto show at their shop that day. And they had only gotten the car like 2 or 3 days earlier. So Roger Rodas, who was a partner in the company, and Paul wanted to take the car out for a spin, see what it could do. So the pro driver got behind the wheel, and as car guys go, we want to push our luck. We want to push the limits and see what the car will do.
Right.
He did it at the wrong spot, at the wrong place, at the wrong time, and lost control. Hit a tree.
What part of shut the fuck up do you not understand?
Hey, I was interested in what he was saying.
Actually, I wasn't even meaning to do that one. I was going to be like,
wow. I was like, wow,
seriously,
really?
What the fuck was that all about?
That's what I was going to play.
I was like, what are you trying to say there, Reuben? But yeah, no, it came down to old tires that couldn't grip, and he was going way too fast for the situation and lost control, and it cost them both their lives.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, dude, that's shitty for them.
I'm sorry, you're not talking about jizz on hot dogs, so you're going to lose Reuben a little bit.
Of course, jizz and hot dogs in general is all Reuben cares about. We know this.
I'm going to put that in the show
whiskey.
notes, jizz and hot dogs. Anything else?
Well, I did recently go to a big festival.
Pray tell.
Okay, so, again, sorry, Reuben, you're probably going to start snoring in a second here. But I went to this big festival. It's called Grid Life. So imagine taking a car guy's Valhalla, so racing, drifting, track time for amateurs, and then do that during the day, and at night turn it into a huge multi-day music festival.
That sounds cool.
That's what I went to. It's called Grid Life. They have 2 festivals, big festivals that they do. One up in Michigan in the spring, and actually, I think it's in 2 weeks in Atlanta, at Road Atlanta. Amazing fun, lots of good stuff going on there. I mean, with the cars, obviously, but they pretty much, at the Michigan meet, they do EDM music. So,
Would
Dead Mouse be EDM?
yes,
Yeah.
but that's a little bit further away from what they had.
It actually probably sounded more like 2 robots fucking. That's what it probably sounded like.
It was actually halfway decent. I mean, the music that they were playing, it's good to listen to while you're driving. The one in Atlanta, hopefully next year I'll be able to go to. Unfortunately, this year I can't, because Atlanta, they do a lot of hip-hop music at the
Wait,
show.
so why is that
why can't you
prohibiting you?
Time and money. And
So it has
off.
nothing to do with Hotlanta or hip-hop?
Oh, no, I'd love to go. I really want to go this year because, of all people headlining, it's Ludacris.
That's cool.
Which would make sense.
He was in Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Last year they had Waka Flocka Flame was their headliner. I don't know any of his music, but he was there, and I've heard the name.
I don't believe that's a real person.
It is.
Oh, I know he is. I don't believe it's a real person. I think it's a computer hologram, much like Ronald Reagan.
Well, I can attest to the fact I know
And Tupac.
some of the people that run this event, and he required on his rider that a black Cadillac Escalade pick him up from the airport, drive him to the festival to perform, and then take him back to his gated community house in Atlanta.
Well, you
So
have
he
to
is a
have
real
gate
person at that point.
Yeah. How closely can this be compared to a gathering of the Juggalos?
Not even close.
Okay, good.
Because
Nobody's going to throw shit on Tequila at one of his car
I
festivals.
forgot about that shit. But no, I mean, during the day you've got all the car guys, the car stuff going on. Michigan was amazing because they had all these pro race car drivers, pro drifters come in with the drifters brought their experimental cars. So there was a guy that came who has a Toyota Scion FRS, if you're familiar with cars at all.
I know what a Scion is.
Okay,
Jake,
so
Can you? I know you're wanting to look at Carlos when you talk to him.
Am I losing? Are you losing me?
Can you talk into the mic? Though?
All right.
Like you can move the mic so you can look at him and gaze into his beautiful brown eyes.
It's direction of interest is what it is.
Right. Well, nobody gives a fuck. I just kind of run this crazy shit show.
But yeah, this guy had a Scion FRS, which is a little 2-seater rear-wheel drive sports car. But he took the engine out of it and put a Ferrari V8 in it. And he was driving that on the track, and it was amazing to watch. It was so much fun. And then...
Isn't that like putting a Ferrari engine in a Fiero?
Better.
Right on.
Better than.
Isn't it like putting a Ferrari engine in a Model T?
More or less like a Ferrari engine in a Miata. That would be the best comparison.
That's like putting a pair of elephant balls on a mouse. Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. But the car was made to slide sideways and turn tires into smoke. So, I mean, it does the job.
And did it accomplish that?
Oh, and spades. I've never seen a car do 130 miles an hour on this small straightaway and then do a 360 into a slide around a corner.
That would be actually pretty fucking cool to see.
I would give it that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if you're remotely interested in cars or just like watching action movies, it would be a fun weekend for anybody.
Were there any fights?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Think about
Jerry.
Think about your multi-day music festivals, and then throw in a bunch of dude bros. What do you think?
Who usually have a wrench or two in their pocket.
Yeah, they're
just happy to see me.
I
one of the two.
only saw one fight get broken up, and it took 8 security guards and 3 state troopers that were there, and they were hauling people to jail.
Damn.
Oh, no, that was in copious amounts all over the place.
And 9 months later, we have little Bobby.
I'm going to get everybody pregnant.
Yes. That was a good impression, actually.
Well, that's about all I got.
Howling!
Besides that, I mean, I've been doing some more video game stuff and gaming. I downloaded Injustice 2 for Xbox One.
I know.
Is that Batman?
Batman,
It's a DC
Superman,
it's all the
Supergirl, all the DC heroes
heroes.
and villains. So you can play as a Joker. You could be the Joker and fight Superman, and
That's cool.
it is
You'd
so
still get your
cool.
ass handed to you.
At first, yes, but as the game goes on, like that, I completed the story mode, which was really cool. Kind of tied in with the first one. Now I'm moving on to something else they call the multiverse. So it's the way they do it. It's really cool. So it's basically small little single player tournaments. So you're by yourself. You're not playing other people, but they only last so long. They're only there for a couple of hours and they shut down, and then new ones come in to replace them. And if you can complete the whole series of events in one of those multiverse events, you get all kinds of awards and like extra weapons and costumes and stuff for the different characters.
Nice. Well, like I said, a buddy of mine from high school actually is one of the programmers.
Oh, very cool.
For that, and I'd love to get him on the show sometime. So, Derek, I don't know if you're listening. Hit me up, or I'll hit you up on Facebook, and we'll get this shit. I want to get you in here. We can talk some gaming, even though I don't game anymore because that shit's expensive and I don't have time. So
It does take time.
Oh, God, yeah, it does.
If you're going to play, you're playing for a good 2-3 hours, if not more.
And I don't have any weed anymore, so I can't really just sit and zone out and play video games like I used to before I was married.
He thought he was playing video games. He was actually just holding a controller staring at a blank screen with the TV off.
Dude, that was one of the greatest hacks I've ever seen when they're like, hey, look at these are laugh hacks. Like, my son always wants to play games with me, but all my games are one player, so I just hand him a dead controller. He thinks he's helping.
That's the best. It's
Right.
not even plugged in.
Right? There's no battery in it.
Right.
It died 3 years ago. You put it in water. You got mad at a game.
Chewed
you
up by a
pissed on
dog.
it, and you're like, fuck you, game. So,
That's pretty much it, though.
right on. Carlos, what you got? What have you been
All right.
consuming this week?
And I texted you about this earlier.
Yeah.
You were right.
Dude, I told you. I fucking told you.
I know you did.
I told you. Hold on.
Get your banner ready.
I just told him in sign language. I told you.
Yeah. So no, I'm you were right. You were spot on. Good read on me.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I'm in a
Fill
coffee
people
shop. I'm in a coffee shop this morning.
Tell me you wept in the coffee shop. Tell me you cried in the coffee shop.
I did.
Fuck yes, you did.
Yeah. Listen, man. I didn't know what to expect. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to listen to the Hamilton soundtrack. Right?
Bitch, yes!
And from the first note, just...
Bump, ba-da-da-dum, bump,
Yes.
bump.
The soundtrack is amazing. I still haven't made it through the whole thing.
Really? Oh,
I've gotten
dude.
about half. This afternoon, I took a half hour nap, and I was listening to it. As I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
But
Dude, invest in some Kleenex at the end, because you're going to be crying.
man, I don't know what it was, but the story.
Y'all thought I was going to say jizzing, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You might do that too.
You surprised me,
but you'll cry for sure.
In his pants.
No, the story of him
Nice
coming
callback.
from pretty much nothing in this horrible predicament and situation that got us start to what he became and accomplished. It was beautiful.
Dude.
Like
yeah.
it literally, I had to wipe tears from my eyes listening to this in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the show because the theater that's in my mind in listening to this music is already awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But just to see it, and then I went back and listened to the carpool karaoke with him and James Corden,
Mm-hmm.
and watching them go back and forth, and James rapping Lafayette.
Yeah.
It was
Taking his horse by the reins, making red coats,
it
red
was
with blood
amazing.
stains.
So good recommendation,
Dude, so that whole, like, Lafayette
right?
bar that taking his horse by the reins, making red coats, red with blood stains, and I'm never going to stop until I make them drop and burn up what's got red remains, is the condensed, holds a record for the most words said in 19 seconds or something like
Really?
that in Broadway. Yeah. Hamilton, the character of Alexander Hamilton, says more words in the play than Macbeth.
Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, yeah. But the character of Alexander Hamilton says more words in the play than Macbeth does
And Shakespeare.
in Macbeth.
Right.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, and by the way, he seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, dude.
Everything
like,
I've seen him do.
he's so fucking down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So it was. I'm going to continue to listen to it. I'm going to take your advice, by the way, and I'm going to look at the lyrics
Yeah.
as I'm listening to it, so I can see who's saying what. But almost every line in what I've heard so far, it's quotable. Like,
Oh, for sure.
there's just the. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's all going to be, like, hardcore rap. Not like that at all.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's definitely an influence of Broadway into it, in theater.
Oh, for sure. And there's some trap. Dude, wait till you get to,
Yeah.
like, the second act, and there's, like, the song called The Adams Administration, and it's trap music. It's fucking great. And I fucking hate trap music, but that song is incredible.
So I've been listening to that a lot. I listened to it on the way up here. Listened to it on the way back home.
Dude,
And,
like
it
I
was
told you,
amazing.
man, that soundtrack, I was addicted to that shit all last summer. Up until pretty much last summer, all the way through January, when I finally saw the musical and I finally got to blow my load. And it was like a release.
And how many?
And I ugly
didn't it win
cried.
Emmys? Didn't
Like,
it win Emmy awards?
Tonys.
Tonys.
And it, like, I think it was
Emmys are TV, right?
Emmys or television, yeah. It was
Nominated
tied
for like 17.
Yeah, it tied for the most Tony. See, now you got me saying Emmy. It tied for the most Tony nominations ever, but it won, like, it felt like it won all of the Tonys
Because
that year.
before that, he was in a production called In the Heights.
Yeah, and it was based off of growing up Puerto Rican in Washington Heights in New York.
I didn't. Go ahead.
So I was just thinking, like, even his. I mean, if you're thinking about it, this is the brainchild of one person.
Yeah.
And the fact that it can materialize and
Dude's a
become
genius.
something that everybody worldwide, like,
Yeah.
can identify with and, like, grasp onto.
Well, here's something
It's
crazy,
pretty amazing.
too. You've got a daughter.
Right.
Has she seen Moana?
Yeah.
He did a lot of the music in Moana.
Really?
Yeah. And, Jake, as a Star Wars fan, in The Force Awakens, he did the music for what was playing in Maz's Cantina.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote that.
You know, he's also quite the actor, too.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of shit.
And I didn't realize this until, like, 4 months ago, I was rewatching House. He had a pretty big character on House.
Yeah, he was one of the patients, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the mental patient that once he left the mental hospital, volunteered to move into House's apartment without him knowing.
Interesting. That was probably after I stopped watching House. Craziness.
By the way, I like your Hamilton tumbler.
Yeah, got it at the show. Yeah,
Very nice.
$16.
Is
man.
it glass?
No, it's plastic.
Okay. Well, if you drop it, you're not going to break it. So that's
No.
good.
Yeah, and it came with a sippy cup lid, so you could take it into the theater with you. It was pretty dope.
So I've been doing that. I've been listening to other podcasts. Drunk Ex Pastors. Shout out to them.
Yeah, they don't need our help.
No, they don't.
No.
But they're awesome guys.
Yeah, they are.
Love listening to them.
They played your Aaron Neville.
They did.
Dude,
and
okay, can you give Brie a small sousson of your Aaron Neville?
Yeah, this is from the
Can you do the cotton?
cotton commercial.
Oh, God.
To touch the fields of cotton and the fabric of our lives. There you go.
Wait, we got to get you doing the Peter Griffin with the Aaron Neville
megaphone.
All right.
So hey, who put this on Aaron Neville? No, and so this week I called into Drunk Ex Pastors because I gave an actual plug to Pop Goulash,
Noise.
and I did Louis Armstrong. So that sounds like this. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
You want to know something interesting?
There you go.
That song in particular, and Me and Little Andy by Dolly Parton are the two songs from my youth that made me realize the power of music.
Didn't know that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Because both of those songs made me cry as a child.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I still get welled up listening to What a Wonderful World.
So you almost cried right here, right now?
Yeah. In my jeans. I'm kidding. I'm not wearing jeans. I'm wearing my Batman pajamas. But no, I literally cried as a child when I heard that Louis Armstrong song for the first time. And then my mom, all right, now we're getting into embarrassing stories of Reuben. Woohoo! I remember one time we were camping in Wisconsin, and my mom had a Dolly Parton's Greatest Hits cassette tape. And there's a song on it called Me and Little Andy, which the entire song, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Bree knows Me and Little Andy.
Not heard it.
The whole song is about this little homeless girl that gets taken in and ends up fucking dying at the end of the song.
Jesus.
Yeah. Fucking country music, dude. Like, but yeah, so like this whole song is like, ain't you got no gingerbread? Ain't you got no candy? Ain't you got an extra bed for me and little Andy? It was like her and her little dog, I guess it was. Or it was it wasn't a dog? I always thought it was a dog. What was it, Brie? Was it a little brother or something?
I thought it was a kid, but
Yeah, I always thought it was her little dog. But
that's what a cat thought.
yeah, well, I was 7. But all of a sudden, like, my mom says I shot up out of bed because it was playing while I was sleeping. And I'm like weeping. Why did the little girl have to die?
Aww.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
Like, but those are the 2 times in, like, my prepubescent youth that I remember, like, music affecting me to the point of tears.
You know what song does that for me now?
Wang Dang Sweet Poontang by Ted Nugent.
Skeet, 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 skeet.
Every time I hear it, I don't know what it is. It just, there's something about it that it just brings back my childhood. The good parts of my childhood. The song Christmas Time Is Here.
Really?
Yeah.
By Tom Petty?
No, by Vince Guaraldi.
Oh, Vince Guaraldi?
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas time is here.
Every time.
Again. Really?
Every time.
Dude, like,
I don't know what it is. It's the nostalgic part of it that brings me back.
yeah. Yeah, dude, that's like one of the few Christmas albums I can actually listen to without
Right?
wanting to gut
Charlie Brown
myself.
Christmas?
Yeah. Bree shaking her head now.
I want to shoot people.
Really? She just said she wants to shoot people. Dude, I love that.
Yes, they're all dancing on the little stage.
Dude, yeah. Anytime I ever played with Karen, like, I'd be like, because we
You'd want her to play that song.
dude. Okay, so Karen. All right, so I'm going to explain this to you two since you don't know Karen. Karen Colzer plays piano, and she's an amazing pianist.
Very good.
And Carlos and I played music at the same church until we didn't. But I would play with Karen occasionally, and I would just like say, "Hey, play the song," and she would fucking play the song. So like,
That was awesome.
yeah, like I would just shout out a song, and she'd just start playing it. Like,
Theme to Jurassic Park.
yeah, and she'd fucking play the theme to Jurassic Park. I didn't. You would just like throw shit out there, and be like, yeah, it was insane.
It was cool.
So I would always like, in where they would position me on stage, I would always be right next to the piano. So I'm like, play me some Linus and Lucy. And she'd fucking just start jamming out some Linus and Lucy, dude.
Russian song from Tetris. Go.
Right? Seriously.
So anyway, last thing I've been consuming is the League. It's a show on Netflix
Yeah.
about fantasy football.
It was on FX originally, yeah.
Yeah, we're going into that season again. I'm actually going to be on I'm commissioner. Sounds so
Commissioner
ridiculous.
Spicy Wiener.
It sounds so ridiculous when I'm
Fuck
saying
you,
it.
buddy.
Carlos Spicy Wiener. Commissioner of a league at the job at my workplace.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, whoever wins gets a trophy, all that good stuff. So it's a fun time.
Nice.
But I'm watching that leading up to that to kind of get into that.
I've heard it's
mode.
actually pretty damn funny.
It is really fun.
And it really has nothing to do with a football, like a fantasy football league.
It does.
Like, it's tangentially related.
It's centered around that, but you've got all the characters and their lives and stuff like that pull it all together.
I've never been one for fantasy football.
I did it once and lost my ass off.
Is there a fantasy for racing?
I actually am in a fantasy F1 league right
All right.
now, Formula One league.
Well,
yes.
you know how it is.
And the sad thing is, I am it's a bunch of podcasters actually from across the country, and I'm the one guy who does the motorsport specific podcast. Everyone else is just regular car shows, and I'm getting my ass handed to me by people who have never watched F1 before.
Awesome. That's usually how it goes, by the way.
Nice. Yeah, I was a Bears fan for years until they broke my heart far too many times. So I was in the heat of my Bear fandom, and
85.
no, this was like 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it was the year like after they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Yeah.
the year after Hester ran the opening kickoff.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It was
I
amazing.
actually bet a guy on a joke saying, "What if $20 says Hester runs that in for the opening kick for a touchdown?"
That was the Grossman era.
yeah.
That's when Grossman should have fucking started at the Super Bowl, but Rex he's our quarterback. Nah, you're a fucking idiot. Anyway,
So, Reuben, what about you?
I'm not done with my goddamn story yet.
Well, after you're done with your story, I'll preemptively ask you. What
Okay,
have you
buddy.
been
Wait a minute,
consuming?
buddy. I'm not done.
You got to talk
I'm not
like
your buddy,
in
friend.
old timey movies.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
See here, Reuben.
I'm not your guy,
What have you been
friend.
consuming?
Not your friend, buddy.
Beady little eyes and their flapping little heads.
Fucking Canadians. Whatever. We don't have any Canadians that listen. Fuck them. No, and I totally... Oh, so fantasy football.
We just lost our entire Canadian audience.
Of 0 people, which means nothing. You divided by zero, you bastard. So anyway, no, so that was like that year of fantasy. The 1 year I played fantasy football, I was a huge Bears fan. I'm like, all my players are going to be Bears, and I lost my ass because I know nothing about football at all.
Especially on the bye week when none of them were playing.
What's that?
That's the 1 week they get off in the season. So if you have all
during
Bears
the regular
players,
season, they get one. Each team gets
You
one
got-
week
you
where
got
they
0
don't
points
play
that
at all.
week.
Those lazy bastards. I bet they're union.
Well, in that case, they're getting all their tools and gear pushed out into the parking lot.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the fucking car union is
I
all.
talked about that this morning.
Did you?
There's 2 different Cadillac dealerships in the area did that now.
Dude, all of the car dealerships, like every car dealership I've passed, all of their mechanics are out on the road.
Yeah, it's
protesting.
UAW strike, yeah.
Yeah, it's craziness.
And all they want is a guaranteed 40-hour work week.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
they're
getting
big
like-
inflatable rat.
no, that's construction mostly.
Okay.
Oh, no, but
enjoy
if they
seeing
start
those.
bringing scabs in to cover the service shop, the service department, you'll see them.
You know, I always think that scabs is such a bad term because, like, you know, a scab heals a wound.
I just wish it was an acronym, that there was something deeper to that meaning.
Yeah.
I've never actually looked into it.
Dude, all we deal with is
you've been
acronyms.
training.
So, but what have I been consuming this week? All right, let's see here.
What have you been consuming, Reuben? That was
All right,
my
Lou
sign
Ferrigno.
language. He scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah. Dude, that was like a form of torture at my house. Like, my grandfather used to watch the fucking... playing some sad Hulk music. But, no, I've been... so I just finished up today before everybody got here. I just finished up the Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later. Dude.
Nice.
Like, it is such a shit show. It really is. It's so cheesy and, like... Oh, God, it's just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. The whole show. Like, it's based on a movie. And then, okay, so 10 years ago or 11 years ago or however long ago at this point, they put out a movie called Wet Hot American Summer. And it was done by the guys that were in the State, the MTV sketch comedy show. But Amy Poehler's in the movie, and Chris Maloney is in the movie. Bradley
He from Law and Order?
Yes. Bradley Cooper's in it.
John
Benjamin. John Benjamin from Archer fame and Bob's Burgers. There's fucking everybody's in it. It's hilarious. It's a great movie. But then last year they made a Netflix show that took place. Okay, so the movie took place on the last day of camp. It's a summer camp movie. And 10 years ago, everybody was a camp counselor.
This is the last day of camp 10 years ago.
For the movie.
Gotcha, okay.
Which takes place in 1981. Okay, so the movie takes place in 1981. And the movie takes place the last day of camp in 1981. Then last year, they put out a TV series that takes place as the first day of camp in 1981. Yet, all the same actors, they're 10 years older than they were when they made the movie.
Same clothes.
Same clothes. Like, well, I mean, they fit them, so it's not like they're
Right.
popping out at the seams. But, I mean, it's the same actors, but they're 10 years older than they were when they played the same characters 10 years ago. And it's fucking hilarious. All ridiculous. Like, the plot line is it's just zaniness. And the season that just came out yesterday, which would have been Friday, which I've already binged the whole fucking season. It's 8 episodes and they're 30-minute episodes.
I didn't realize there was a new season out.
Yeah, it's called 10 Years Later, or 10 Years Late. I think it's 10 years after.
Oh, God, I got to...
How long did it take you to get through that?
4 hours. It's 8
Easy to
half-hour
do.
episodes.
Yeah.
I'm the one that can't math in this fucking equation here. But yeah, it's 8. See, now, goddammit, I
4
can't
hours,
even math.
you're
It's
right.
4
4
hours.
hours, yeah.
And yeah, but it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it has this crazy, like, George Herbert Walker Bush and Ronald Reagan subplot going on. It's dude, it's fucking crazy. Well, they were in the first one, if I'm not mistaken. They were in the first Netflix series as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Watch it,
dude. It's fucking craziness, but it was hilarious. I loved it. Watched Rogue One again because it's finally on Netflix. Like, I'm flipping through the other night and I'm like, there's Star Wars on Netflix. Holy shit! Like, because you still can't see the original sextilogy, and that sounds dirtier than it should.
first 6 movies.
Yeah, but yeah, they don't. Those aren't up, but you can watch fucking Rogue One. So I watched that like twice already.
Yeah, I only figured that out because my in-laws are using my Netflix account, and even though I set up a separate section for them, they keep using mine. So all the stuff that I'm trying to watch gets buried, so I can't find it and continue watching. Oh no, I gotta give it to my in-laws.
Yeah, because
But,
they're just not using their own profile.
Yeah.
They're like, look, I know it says Debbie, but go fuck yourself.
It's
the first one I see. I'm clicking it.
Yep. And so I've been trying to rewatch some old Star Trek shows. And,
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I finally finished TNG, and I'm on Deep Space Nine now.
Well, why didn't you talk about this when it was your turn
What
to talk
is
about?
TNG?
Next Generation.
Okay.
Yeah, why didn't you talk about that when it was?
Because I didn't think about it.
Well, goddamn it, you're biting into my time.
Well, pardon me, madam.
Goddamn right.
And I tipped my hat like that.
Where's your fucking put your,
Emilio!
better put your fucking pinky out when you're drinking that beer too, bitch. But so that's really it for constantly Orphan Black because we're in the middle of the season, and god damn it, it's such a fucking good show. It's so fucking good.
My favorite character was LeVar Burton, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Jordy.
Sorry, Reuben.
I just threw a beer cap at fucking Carlos. God damn it, Carlos. But,
You don't have to take my word for it.
Not Will Wheaton.
with Wheaton. So I've been, that's really all I've been watching on TV lately. Game of Thrones, always. And, I was going to catch up on Preacher, but fucking kids
Did you
are-
like the ending of Game of Thrones?
Dude!
La, 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 la,
Dude, we won't spoil it. We're not going to spoil it.
No, but what a kick in the nuts.
Fuck yes! Fuck yes! When I saw that, I was like, answers revealed.
And
Holy
he
shit.
ain't do shit
He
about
didn't
it.
do shit. Well, I mean, technically, he kind of did do shit about it.
Well, he did, but-
he could have been like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna flay you too," but he
Yeah.
didn't. Like, he just walked out all cool. If I was him, I'd have
He
been
could have
like,
gotten his sword out.
"That's what I said." He could have flayed the bitch,
Or just beat her with his golden hand.
right?
Oh, come on. No spoilers.
No.
Okay, dude. All the
Golden Hand, that's all I need to know. I know who you're talking about, and I've got a pretty good idea from after
just
last season.
Talking about Jamie, that's all.
Yeah, we're talking about Jaime Lannister. You don't know who the fuck we're talking about, or who he was talking to, or what he did, or when. Chill the fuck out, homie. So, but yeah, when said person revealed said spoiler,
Yes.
that was like, holy shit, atomic bomb. I was like, whoa.
By the way, I want Daenerys and Jon Snow to hook up.
No, they're cousins, dude. That's
No,
gross.
Brother,
It's his-
sister.
Their aunt. That's his aunt.
That's insane. I don't care. That's still
They're brother, sister.
No.
Yes, they are.
no.
If you look at
I
the
think
family
Carlos is
tree,
right. I think
she's
Carlos
the
is
aunt.
right. She's his aunt technically, but he's also his own grandpa. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Like everybody's fucking everybody in that show,
Shut your fucking face,
As,
Uncle
as, it
Fucker.
was, as it was back then.
right? Bree's. I think we broke Bree's brain.
Do you want to fuck your aunt?
Have you not watched Game of Thrones?
You've never seen any. of my
Okay,
aunt.
so like the first episode of the first season, 10 minutes in, a brother and sister are having sex.
Yeah.
You kept watching?
Well, they don't. It's not graphic.
It's
Yeah, that was the only. Well, that wasn't the only time,
No,
but
whole idea. Like,
You know that's a crazy subgenre on porn.
yeah. Rule 34.
Yeah, Rule 34.
yes. What would be the Game of Thrones title for Rule 34?
That would be the thing. It would be Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's what I would
Game-
call Rule 34.
Game of Moans?
Yeah, the Game of Moans.
Game of Bones.
Hey, all of the
All right, we got a
above.
winner. We got a winner. Chicken dinner. So yeah, so that. But dude, I finally discovered Jason Isbell, which Dana has talked to me about Jason Isbell, and Tom has talked to me about Jason Isbell.
Who is that?
He was the singer for a band called the Drive-By Truckers.
Oh,
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and I saw him live. I saw him open up for Tom Petty like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. And didn't even think twice about it. I have one Drive-By Truckers record. It's a good record, I will say that. But I never really delved deep into like the liner notes, because like back in the day, man, I would like study that shit like I was getting tested on it in the morning. But I never really thought twice about looking at the liner notes for that album. And then last night, Tom's like, "Oh yeah, that's it's Jason Isbell. He was the singer for Drive-By Truckers." I'm like, "Oh," but I picked up his newest album recently. It's fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible. He's got a song on there called Cumberland Gap that reminds me of like Welcome to Asbury Park, Born to Run era Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
It's fucking excellent. That, and then I've been checking out some, let's see, hold on. Get my iTunes out here, because that's how I listen to my music these days. Dude, listen to Bob Dylan's Blood in the Tracks, which is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. I mean, I've got many favorite albums of all time, but Blood in the Tracks is definitely in the top 10. And then my buddy Chris recommended this album called Strange Tales by this dude named Lord Huron, or Huron, Huron. It's a fucking great album. I mean, it's kind of hipstery singer-songwriter, but it's fucking great. I was shocked at how good
Lord
this...
Huron?
Lord Huron, yeah. It's a great fucking record, dude. I can't really, like, describe any of it, but it's just good. Like, it's a good fucking record. Like, straight through, like, the whole album is just a solid record. And then last night, I went to go see The Dark Tower.
How was that?
Fucking excellent.
How was Matthew McConaughey in
Matthew McConaughey is great. Although
Idris Elba?
Idris Elba is always great. Yeah. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, what?
Matthew McConaughey was great.
Did you not? All right, so
He's been failing lately.
Bree is questioning my
What?
my
Dallas Buyers Club?
All right.
Poorly done. Not you, him.
True Detective.
Just okay.
He was fucking excellent in True Detective.
Bree is questioning the
Interstellar.
The abilities of Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, so
Matthew
finally
McConaughey,
one
yeah.
Interstellar. Oh, what's that fucking Ship of Gold or that stupid movie did with what's her nuts?
What was the movie?
Ship of Gold.
Oh, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Sweet Home Alabama too.
Yeah, with Reese Witherspoon.
That was a good movie.
Except for her.
Her.
Greasy Reese Witherspoon.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
An
He was
amazing
amazing.
Well,
in that.
yeah, only because Margot Robbie.
That was real cocaine, by the way.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Doesn't shock me.
Actually, I don't know if it was or not.
Even if it wasn't, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But it was good. It's kind of a continuation of the tale, because I've read the Dark Tower series, and I love the Dark Tower series. It's one of my favorite sci-fi, fantasy, western mashup, fucking genre horror book series I've ever read.
I've never seen this or read. Is the Dark Tower basically the gateway between heaven and hell?
No, the Dark Tower.
It's, yeah,
technic-
more sure of that.
It's way. It's complex, but the Dark Tower is basically what holds all of reality together in the book series. And so basically the Dark Tower holds all the universes in line. So there are multiple universes. It's a multiversity kind of thing going on. But the Dark Tower holds everything together. And McConaughey plays the Man in Black, Walter O'Dim, who his whole purpose is to destroy the Dark Tower to let all of the evil into the universe and just let it have full reign. And Idris Elba plays Roland Deschain, who is the gunslinger, who is the last of his line, and he is, he's the good guy.
He was great in The Office, by the way.
Idris Elba was in The Office?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he was.
No.
Yes, he was.
The British office?
No.
The
American version.
Producer Jake, look this up.
Last couple of seasons, he was in there. Or
are you thinking Patrice O'Neill?
No, I'm not. No. But he was in The Office. He came in as the acting CEO for 5 or 6 episodes.
Dude, he's dreamy.
He's awesome.
He is. He's a good-looking dude. But he was in it, and
Can you confirm that, Jake, by the way?
I'll be goddamned.
Thank you.
Right there. In the picture.
He's dreamy.
There he is.
I'll
yes.
be damned.
So he's in
Patrice O'Neill. He had a heart attack.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Patrice O'Neill. That motherfucker was funny, dude.
Yeah, he was.
Anyway, but yeah, it basically, the whole series of books, it's 8 books in the series, 7 books in the original run, and then Stephen King put out a 8th book that fit between 4 and 5.
You've read all these?
I've read them all, yeah. They're excellent. And this movie takes place after the 7th book.
Wow.
Because in the 7th book, at the very end, Roland opens up a door, and it's the very beginning of the first book with a twist.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's not spoiling anything, because the book's been out for fucking 10 years now, so suck it up,
I was just going to
Buttercup.
say, if you've never read the books, though, it's still a good movie.
Oh, it's still a great movie, yeah, because I went with 2 buddies of mine who had never read the books, didn't have any preconceived notions of the movie whatsoever, and they're like, at the end of it, they're like, I'm going to have to go and buy the books and read the books now. So, and the crazy thing is, it was a very condensed timeline. They took elements from all of the books and kind of shoved them together for this movie, and it was only a 90-minute movie.
Really?
It could have been way longer. And
As most Stephen King movies.
right. But the cool thing was, what many people may not know is the Dark Tower book series is so sprawling. It's not just the 8 books. It has tendrils in the entire Stephen King universe. So, like, if you've ever read Needful Things, the priest that was in Needful Things is in the Dark Tower series. He gets pulled into the Dark Tower series. There's a guy in Insomnia who gets pulled into the Dark Tower series. So, like, there's ties to all of the other books.
So, Insomnia was a Bachman book, too, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Okay.
But even still, like, Jake Chambers, the kid in the book, in the movie and in the books, they kept saying in the movie, he's got the shine, as in
The
Shining.
Yeah.
They walk into, like, this weird, like, rusted out theme park, and in the banner of it says Pennywise. Yeah, like, it's so fucking tied together.
How many of those did you catch, like, in that movie? Were there references to other movies within that movie?
Yeah,
movies and King books.
Yeah, between the books and the movies, because I've read a lot of Stephen King, and I've read,
So, if you question for you, so
but yeah, I've read a lot of Stephen King, and a lot of it does, like, after I've read it, I was like, oh shit,
there's a lot of tie-ins.
Like, if you've read The Stand, Randall Flagg in The Stand is the Man in Black from the Dark Tower series.
That was my question.
Randall
that was
Flagg
be my
is Walter
question
O'Dim.
because if you've also read, was it The Eyes of the Dragon?
Yeah,
the villain in that was a magician named Flagg.
Yeah,
it's
the same
still
guy.
the same person. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That was my question that I was going to ask, was if you thought that Randall Flagg.
Oh yeah, it's the same guy. It's
Reuben.
the exact same character. Yes, sir.
That was his question.
Shut up! I'm 4 beers in.
I got it. Let me finish. Can I finish? I'm finished.
Fuck you, buddy.
Hey there, Carlos Spicy Wiener.
So yeah,
I still don't know what that means. By the way.
Actually, we'll get to that. So, but yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'd give it a B+. I would, if I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B+.
And I'm kind of amazed because I've heard hit and mix about it, and WGN, which usually their opinions on movies are pretty similar to mine, did not enjoy it at all. They thought it did not give credit to the books.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it passed through many hands before it got produced, but Stephen King was still an executive producer on it. Okay. And I've got 6 comic book series over there that Stephen King has, like, a producer type title on it or editor type title on. So he had to sign off on it before they made it. And if I know I've read a lot of the negative reviews too, like they were trying to cram too much stuff, like 5 pounds of shit into a 2-pound bag, which they kind of did, but it tied enough of
tasteful.
There was enough connective tissue to where it flowed.
Still entertaining enough to go spend
Absolutely.
money on.
Absolutely. And like I said, I brought 2 of the most critical dudes that I know. Like, one of the dudes that I brought with me, Chris, is like, he's a Disney guy, okay? And he fucking enjoyed the movie. And Tom hates fucking everything, and he dug the movie. So I would, like, if 2 dudes that I know that would not like particularly that particular genre of movie or shit in general, and they enjoyed it.
I feel sad for Tom.
But it was good. It was definitely worth going to see. Absolutely. As everybody fucking ignores me and looks
No,
at
I
their
was listening,
goddamn
but I was
phones.
also, it made me think of something else that I wanted to check up on, and maybe talk about here when we get a chance.
I was prepping for the next segment.
All right. So, Carlos, why don't you bring us into our questions from our listeners?
Okay, so as we promised, this episode we're going to continue with your questions. So, thank you for writing in. We may make this something every now and then where we put up on Facebook and hear back from you guys. But the first question, chocolate rain.
Every time we walk off the mic to, like, cough or belch or whatever, we're just going to call it a chocolate rain.
All right, so this is coming from Damian Cruz down in Peoria, Illinois, actually.
One of your homies?
P-Town.
I'm sorry.
Here's what he says. After a heavy 90s grunge movement and the 2000s pop boy band movement, are hair bands really making a comeback? Can the bands of the 80s really still survive? Or are 50 and 60-year-old guys in spandex history. Thoughts?
I could start this one, actually.
Go for it.
It's a nostalgia thing. I mean, we all grew up listening to that stuff when we were little kids, and we all kind of cling to what we listened to. So, I don't know about you guys, but for me, the music I listen to most often is the stuff I listened to in high school. So think about the people with the disposable income who are starting to retire now. What did they listen to when they were in high school? Who do you think they're going to go see?
Butt rock.
Yeah. State fair bands. Right?
Yeah. For
Rib
me,
Fest. Naperville Rib
Yeah.
Fest. They had the B-52s there.
dude, I would dig to
White
see the
Snake,
B-52s.
Quiet Riot. All those bands are making a big comeback now just because of the whole nostalgia thing. And
Yeah, my kids are in
They want to
college.
see them live. Yeah, my kids are all gone. I'm about ready to retire. This band's coming to town. I listened to them when I was in high school. I never
And
got to
it's
see them
probably
then.
cheaper. To
Yeah.
see 'em
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
See, I don't know if like hair metal's coming back because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I know, like Carlos, for you, when you go and Dana too, to a certain extent, when like they go back and start feeling nostalgic about music, they go back to the '90s.
Right.
I go back to the '70s, like '70s rock. Like I was listening to some 38 Special recently. Some
Dream On by
Skinner,
Aerosmith is a great
some
song. from the
Aerosmith. But that's like what I was raised listening to was that 70s arena rock and 70s southernish rock. You know, obviously, like, yeah, I could always say like 90s grunge stuff, but I'm tired of listening to that shit at this point. Like, like I love it. Don't get me wrong. If it's on, I'm not going to shut it off. But it's very rare that I'm just going to go, hey, let me listen to Nevermind again for the 170 millionth time. I've listened to those albums to death. Now, once the kids start getting older, I'll start playing them for them. It'll probably come fresh again. But they'll be like, Dad, this music sucks. Why are you listening to this old shit? And then when they get older, they're going to be like, dude, that music is awesome. I should listen to more stuff from the 90s. But for me, like, a lot of that nostalgic era is the shit that's out of the 70s. Like Fleetwood Mac's fucking Rumors record, or their first, like, Fleetwood Mac, you know, or Tusk. That was a fucking
Tusk is amazing.
It's a weird fucking record, man.
So good, though.
It's a
one
good
of my
fucking
favorites.
record, absolutely, and for a double album too.
Yeah.
But actually, I even went back and started listening to Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti, which was their double album.
Oh, so good.
And I fucking hate double records for whatever reason. Like, I am not a fan of a double record.
A lot of times it's filler.
I feel the same way.
But Zeppelin, there's no such thing as filler.
I don't know,
sorry.
dude. No, have you heard Coda? Or even In Through the Outdoor?
Oh, I love
no.
Outdoor.
What was the one? Presence. Presence wasn't a great record.
I'll tell you what, Double
In Through the
Disc was great from start to finish. It's not from the 70s.
If you
From
say
the 90s.
Melancholy,
Yes. Melancholy and the Infinite
Yeah.
Sadness.
no, there was
I
two.
could
to
listen to
finish.
every track
Every song
on
is
there,
on there.
and I also bought Aeroplane Flies High box set, the B-sides, and unreleased album music.
Dude, you got two James Iha songs on there that could be left off of that record.
I love the
fine.
Pumpkins, so I've got a bias. But
The
that
Pumpkins
album
can
was
suck a dick.
oh whatever, dude.
Dude, I loved the Pumpkins until I got burned 2 concerts in a row by those guys, and now they could go fuck themselves. I saw them on their 20th anniversary tour, and they think
I
like,
did too.
And they fucking Billy Corgan thinks he's fucking Bob Dylan, and
He is.
he's not.
No,
He
he
is.
is
he's
not.
not.
Go sit in his...
Bob
just-
Dylan was fuck Bob Dylan number one because he wasn't as popular as people make him out.
You're
to be.
fucking fired.
Oh.
Number two, his voice is okay. Billy Corgan has a strange voice too, so I'll give you that. But there weren't many other people around in Bob Dylan's era that were on
What?
the same caliber
What?
as him. That's why he
What
seemed like he was so
bullshit?
good.
Have you heard the Birds?
I don't know who the bird.
The
is.
Yardbirds.
Even the Yardbirds.
Thank you.
Cream.
Cream.
Who else was out?
I'm
with
talking
Dylan
about
fucking
around?
solo
Zeppelin.
acts,
Zeppelin. Oh,
just like him.
Joan Baez.
some little guy named Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
We talked about that last time.
yeah, we did.
Okay, I was just a little
Sorry.
butthurt about the Smashing
I
Pumpkins.
didn't mean to go off
But-
on you there, but damn.
Dude, I've seen the Pumpkins like 4 or 5 times. It's a diminishing rate of return every time I've seen them. Like, the last time I saw them, I refused to ever see them again.
I still say it was a good album.
Melancholy was good.
No.
There.
Don't get me wrong. It's a good album. There's some bullshit on that record that could have been left off, though.
You could say that about any album, though.
I am.
Yeah,
That's
I
exactly
disagree
what
with
I'm
you on
fucking
that, but
saying.
Bob Dylan, for instance, probably had some songs he could have kept off.
I look, on some of his later stuff, yeah, I could say that.
Okay.
Blood on the Tracks? No, every song needs to be on that fucking record.
Yeah.
Blonde on Blonde? Every song needs to be on that fucking record.
He had that niche voice, too.
I don't listen to it for his voice, man.
It's the lyrics, the
what?
music,
It's his
the
fucking
guitar.
words, dude.
That's like saying you don't go to this show for the lyrics, you just like the music.
I don't read the. I don't get Playboy for the pictures. It's for the
interviews.
articles.
There you go.
They did have some damn good writing, though.
This is going to be a good episode right here.
So, all right, where were we?
So
All right.
it's interesting you brought up that you were listening to some older music. In fact, the last album I downloaded onto my phone and been listening to this week for some reason, I forget where I was at, but they had Sweet Child of Mine playing in the background, and I downloaded some Guns N' Roses, and I have not listened to them in probably a decade.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
up until fucking Chinese Democracy, they were incredible.
Yeah.
And the one song on Chinese Democracy was actually really fucking good.
There were a couple that were actually good. Like IRS on Chinese Democracy was fucking great. What was the other one?
The one
Better?
that-
I think Better was a
can't remember
great
what it was
fucking
called, but It was
tune.
the one that was on the radio all the time. I loved it.
Yeah, there were about 3 or 4 good, really good songs on Chinese Democracy, but overall that album was a fucking... That was
Shit show.
Dude, that was shit on toilet paper flushed down the toilet.
Yeah.
That
Would
album
you
sucked
say
ass.
the same thing about Appetite for Destruction?
Dude,
I mean, every song on there is a good
dude,
song?
yeah, every song has to be on that record.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, that was hit or miss with some of the
Well,
songs.
I downloaded the greatest hits, and it's pretty much Use Your Illusion, best parts of it, and
Right.
then Appetite for Destruction,
Right.
the entire album.
Yeah, like
It is basically what that album
like
was.
My World off of Use Your Illusion 2 was weird. That's when he was like trying to be fucking Trent Reznor. But there's a lot of good shit on those.
November
Use Your Illusion.
Rain.
Dude, November
Amazing.
Rain.
Oh, that's his opus,
Estranged.
man.
Estranged
Yeah.
is a fucking great track on there. Pretty Tied Up is a fucking great. Dude, for me though,
you thought I was going a different direction, didn't you? That was one of the records that completely shaped my whole musical landscape.
which one was
Appetite for Destruction?
Appetite? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When that
There
came
was
out, it
nothing
like,
that sounded like that
No.
at that point. It was like when the Beastie Boys brought out with License to Ill, which was the very first #1 rap album ever on the Billboard charts.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Probably because they were white. I'm going to go out there and say it because it made rap accessible to white kids.
Right.
But, like, yeah, it was the #1 rap album. Or it was the first rap album that hit #1 on the Billboard charts ever.
And they had credibility being from Brooklyn, right?
They
Were
had-
they from
Queens.
Brooklyn?
They were from Queens.
No.
I thought they were from Queens.
No.
I'll defer to Reuben on this.
No.
Yeah, he would know better than I would.
If I'm not mistaken, I think
There's 3 Jewish guys from Queens, I thought.
3 Jewish guys from New York. Oh, yeah, it's a car alarm going off.
Did I hit my...
I don't know. Don't wake up my kids, goddammit.
Well, I'm just going to hit my lock button, because if it's my car alarm, then I'll... Did it stop? It's
I don't
not
hear
me,
it.
then.
But no,
That was dumb.
one of them was from Manhattan, the other was from Brooklyn. I don't think any of them were from Queens, though. I want to say Mike D and Ad Rock were from Manhattan, and MCA was from Brooklyn.
But they were another band that created their own sound, too.
Oh, absolutely.
If there was nothing
they were
else
punk.
around at
They
that
were
time.
hardcore punk before they got known.
Yeah.
Like hardcore.
Hardcore punk.
Like 80s punk.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Go listen to the
Some
anthology.
old bullshit.
Like, yeah. B-A-S-T-I-E. B-A-S-T-I-E.
Go. Yeah, the Beastie Boys were a fucking hardcore punk room. Beastie actually was an anagram.
For
An
what?
anagram?
Yeah. Yep. For boys entertaining anarchistic BEA
Tendency.
states. No, boys entertaining anarchistic states towards internal excellence.
Wow.
Yeah. Bet y'all didn't know that, did you, bitches?
I did not.
Yeah, yeah, fucking Beastie Boys, dude. And tomorrow, actually, wait, what's the date today? Is it the 5th?
Well, we are already on tomorrow.
It's the 6th. All right. Well, the 5th was MCA's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So hopefully Data made it to the Adam Yount Memorial Park yesterday. That would have been rad.
That would have been rad, yeah.
So
She probably did.
I hope so.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I hope she's having fun, by the way.
She better be having fun.
From what I understand, she is.
So, all right, what's the next question?
All right, so we got one more question here. This is from Mandy McAvoy in Portland, Oregon.
Ooh, we got a Portland, Oregonite.
Portlandia.
Please, this is a long one, so I'll read through it. Please talk about gangster rap. I love it and would like to hear more about it. What people think about it, how it shaped rap and culture. The lyrics alone are raw, powerful. Jesus, they were all so young when they wrote those lyrics. As a woman, I'm often offended by some of the more violent lyrics towards women and trafficking, but I'm just so fascinated with this genre in particular. Did Kanye kill gangster rap?
Kanye was never gangster rap.
No.
No. What
No.
killed gangster rap was the death of fucking Biggie Smalls.
And Tupac.
And Tupac.
Well, Biggie got killed last.
Yeah,
East
but
Coast,
Tupac
West
was...
Coast.
Well, there's so many questions about both of those deaths.
But nonetheless, Biggie was the last one to die.
Yeah.
So that was the death of gangster rap to me. You know.
When Death Row shut their doors, that was
There, yeah, but that was like the actual fucking last nail in the coffin was well after. What? Yeah.
What
of
about
Death
when
Row
Death Row
Records.
Records.
What
but the
about when Eazy-E died? I mean, that was sort of...
Yeah, but Easy
That
died.
was
Shadowing that.
before. That was before
Easy
Tupac, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Easy died before, like, I want to say Easy died after the Chronic came out.
Would you say they grandfathered gangster rap, though?
They
NWA?
were the forerunners.
Oh,
Eazy-E
for sure.
and NWA were the forerunners, absolutely. New York started to get their own sound on top of that.
All right, I got a kid crying. You guys can continue the
All right.
conversation.
So, yeah, I mean, New York kind of created their own sound, and they were more party, happy, fun time. The West Coast started coming up with the gangsta stuff. NWA was the spearhead of that, absolutely. But eventually New York started to turn toward that because that's where the money was made.
Right.
Not to mention that was more realistic than the happy, fun time party, Rapper's Delight, that was coming out originally from the New
It's
York.
a great song, by the way. Sugar
Yeah.
Hill Gang.
I actually randomly won a karaoke contest singing that song. I won a free weekend at a hotel casino.
Oh, man, I would love to have seen that.
Totally. Yeah, well, I mean, I
You're
didn't
like,
even.
I did all the parts.
I did. I had to. It was like 7.5 minutes long, and it killed me. And I couldn't only remember about a third of the song, only because of the wedding singer. Because the old lady sings the intro.
Yep.
But no, I mean, one of my favorite albums to this day is still Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. The whole album, beginning to end, I can listen to, minus the skits to a point, but they kind of make sense if you listen to them and you listen to the album beginning to end. The skits make sense where they're at, and it kind of ties the whole album together.
Chronic album?
No, I'm
Him and
talking
Dre?
Snoop
No,
Dogg.
do you like
No,
that
just
one?
Snoop
No.
Dogg, Doggy Style. Oh, the Chronic? I actually like Chronic 2001 a little bit better with Eminem and Snoop and Dre.
I remember when that whole album dropped.
Oh, it was amazing. And, I mean, Eminem brought a whole nother
Level to it.
it. I mean, what's the lyric? Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
Yeah.
I mean, that one line,
I got chills.
it makes the entire album.
Yep. Yeah, it does. It's a good song. Have you seen the Defiant ones yet?
Was that show
HBO
about
special.
I watched most of it. My wife was I was tired and went to
binged it.
sleep, and my wife continued to watch it, so I missed part of it, and then the HBO
There's 5 episodes in that
free
first season.
thing ended, so I missed probably 2/3 of it.
It's really, really,
but
really
what
good.
I saw was amazing, and after watching what was Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
After watching Straight Outta Compton, it was a great B-side to that, if you will. So we got to see one side with the theatrical movie, And then we actually got to hear what was going on straight from Dre's lips, and to see the progression of Dre and his empire that he's got now, and the music and how he found the different artists and whatnot, and him and Iami and what they did. It did skip a couple of steps that were in the way. They wanted to talk about the huge $1 billion deal, which of course that
With
makes
Apple.
the most sense.
Right.
However, Dre created beats, sold them, bought them back, and then sold them to Apple.
Who did he sell it to first? Sony?
I don't remember. He sold it to some company, and it started to fail. So he was able to buy it back cheap, and then fix the issues with the brand, and then sell it to Apple and make the money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they skipped that.
That's really cool that he was able to do that.
Yeah, they skipped that part in the documentary, but it was interesting. They wanted to kind of condense it as much as possible and really focus on the big money deal, which makes absolute sense.
And the relationship between the two.
Yeah. But no, I mean, gangster rap is, yes, there's definite misogynistic ties. There's definitely violence ties. Go back in the day, Ice Cube and who else was it with the Cop Killer album? I mean, that was a big deal. It was Ice-T. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that was a huge deal, and it may, depending on what side of the fence you stood, it was looked at as either a bad thing or a good thing, and it can still be looked upon, especially with what's going on in politically and culturally now in the States, that it could be looked at as a bad thing. However, some people could see it as a good thing, and it's calling gangster rap. Okay, so I'm rambling on here.
No, you're fine. I don't know if you guys can hear the baby in the background, but we have a monitor down here with us. Reuben went upstairs to
take care of one of the kids.
Yep.
But no, gangster rap, for the way I understand it, the way I've always listened to it, is it's putting light on subjects that people don't necessarily want to hear about. So in a way, it's very similar to your anti-American, anti-government songs of the 60s and early 70s when Vietnam was going on. That's how I look at it. So I think it's very relevant. And
the last part of her question here was what you were just saying about talking about subjects that normally most people don't want to talk about. She finishes out with, could you finish with Macklemore? And there's one of his songs in particular. Now, it's not gangster rap, of course.
No, far from it.
And I would say it's, I don't know if I would put
ginger rap?
I don't even know if I'd put it in the hip-hop category.
Oh, no, it absolutely
A little
is.
bit, yeah. But I would say that him opening up the door to sort of talk about the homosexual community and that whole aspect and the experience. There's a song that he has. See if I could look it up here.
I can't remember what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's an amazing song. And yes, I would consider it rap.
Yeah,
it is rap because he's not singing. He's not singing melodically. He's going through it in a poetic meter, and yeah.
And most importantly, I think what I like most about that genre is it does an incredible job of telling stories.
Oh, absolutely. You listen. Most hip hop nowadays, I don't listen to. I can't because
it's not about the stories anymore.
Starting,
you don't see a lot of that.
Maybe 10 years ago or so, the majority of hip hop is, oh, look at my rims, look at my car, look at the money I've got, and I don't care about that. And I was actually, I forget, I think it may have been like the Man Cow show or something.
Do you remember that show?
Well, he's back again, but
that was when he was on
ago.
Q101, right?
Yeah, it would have been when he was on Q101. But I think it was Man Cow. He had Daryl McDaniels, DMC from Run DMC, on his show and was talking to him. And he's like, oh, well, what kind of hip-hop and that are you listening to now? And he said,
none.
The hip-hop for me nowadays is Janis Joplin. It's Jimi Hendrix. It's Led Zeppelin. It's The Doors. It's that counterculture that I never experienced when I was younger and get to listen to now, and stuff that happened before I was born. And it just rang true. And he's like, you listen to hip hop nowadays, it's, I've got this much money, I've got this, I've got that. Who cares? What I care about is the story. That's what we did with Run DMC. And absolutely, you look at like Will Smith back when he was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. You look at Run DMC, NWA told stories. I mean, Eazy-E. I mean, Boys in the Hood. That's nothing but a day. It's a day in his life. And they don't do it so much. There are a few hip-hop artists like... I actually have been listening to newer hip-hop artists, Run the Jewels. If you haven't listened to them, fucking amazing. It reminds me of like old school, late 80s, early 90s hip-hop, but it's an updated sound. It's a beautiful, beautiful stuff that they do. They're on their third album. The other one I've listened to actually is Machine Gun Kelly, if you've heard of him or not.
Oh, he was in. He was actually in the Roadies. He was. It was a show that was on Showtime.
Yeah, I think you were telling me about that.
Yeah, he was one of the actual roadies in the show as an actor.
Like, both Run the Jewels and Machine Gun Kelly do a very good job of telling a story or making sense of a song and making it actually something you want to listen to just lyrically, not just, oh, I've got this, I've got that, or I grew up in the shit and now I'm here. You know?
Two things. You referenced the Doors, their double disc, the best of. I've listened to that thing so many times.
I've been to Jim Morrison's grave.
Have you?
What does that have to do with hip hop?
He mentioned Run DMC talking
Daryl
about...
McDaniels.
Right.
I heard an interview of him. And
sorry, I was out of the
Yeah, you missed this part, so I'm going to
babies.
repeat myself here. But Daryl McDaniels, I think it was on the Mancow show a few years back, like 10, 15 years ago. And Mancow asked him what kind of hip-hop he was listening to. He's like, honestly, nowadays hip-hop for me is Janis Joplin, it's The Doors, it's Led Zeppelin, it's Jimi Hendrix. It's the music from the 60s that sparked the counterculture, because hip-hop nowadays is just, oh, I've got this, I've got that, my rims spin, bullshit like that.
Trap music.
Yeah. And listening, and I listen to music for the stories. And this is Daryl McDaniels saying this. He's like, I listen to music for the stories and to understand a side of American or world culture that I've never experienced firsthand.
Right on.
So that's where the Doors came from.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was dadding. So.
Yeah, no worries.
And then you've got the Fat Boys, but that's a whole nother
My nuts.
So,
All right. Do we got another? Or?
I don't think so.
All right.
No, we got 2 this week. We'll do 2 next week and
Word.
keep it going.
All right.
All right. So bear with me here. We've got a voicemail here from our correspondent, Minnesota Jesse. So let me pull this up here. All right. So I got to turn the main down.
We don't have a go home Google you're drunk, do we?
Oh, I'm sure we would. All right.
So to explain to Bree, because she's giving us this look. So when you do a Google voicemail like this, it actually transcribes it to English.
It tries to,
but it's terrible.
It's always fucking wrong.
It's all clipped and shoddy, and what the fuck? It's like, yeah, you could say, "Hey, how's it going?" It says, "I'm going to ruin you," or something like that. Yeah.
In one of the podcasts I listened to, they had for a minute a segment called "Go Home Google, You're Drunk." Go home Google, not Google.
Go home whiskey.
Gru is from Despicable.
I am
I'm
Groot.
That too.
All right, so
And I live 10 seconds at a time.
Right. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. All right. Anyway.
Hurry up. Let's go. Hurry up. Let's go.
That was pretty good. All right. Bree just leaned forward as if she was going to speak into a microphone. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. It was an Adam West reference, actually.
From a prior podcast.
From another podcast that's not us.
We get deep. Anyway, all right, so we're going to play, we got Minnesota Jesse calling in, so let's see what he's got to say.
From the land of sky blue waters, it's Minnesota Jesse calling back again. Peace. How is everybody doing? Dana, Reuben, Carlos, great to be back. Thanks for adding me on. First of all, Mark Arm and Mark Lanigan. There are clear differences, sir. Mark Arm was with Mudhoney. Mark Lanigan was with Screaming Trees. Just
Okay, I understand that Mark Lanigan is from Screaming Trees and Mark Arm is from Mudhoney. That was a fuck up that I made. I meant to correct myself at the beginning of this. I forgot to. I knew that. I was listening back to the episode, screaming at myself in the car. Like,
As I'm sure Jesse was as well.
I should know this. I saw fucking Mudhoney at my very first show at the Metro ever. So yeah, I knew the difference. I was having drinks and fucked up. So
Shit happens.
blow me. My bad. All right, let's get back.
kind of a heads up there. Queens of the Stone Age. You know what? Josh Homme has always made me kind of shy away because of his vocals. I don't know. I love the rest of the band, love the rest of the sound. It's just his vocals have always turned me off. Just my personal opinion. The worst prank. Well, you know, I think the worst.
And as the dude said, that's just like your opinion, man.
Because, yeah, I completely disagree. I love Josh Homme's voice.
Yeah, he's got that honey sweet voice
Yeah.
when he wants to, you know. Anyway.
Like Aaron Neville.
Prank I was ever involved in it had to do with me, actually. I was having relations with this girl back in college and didn't observe the day of the year, and she started messaging me that she was pregnant. Little did I know it was April 1st. She didn't tell me until later on that day, so I was shitting egg rolls for most of the day. The Carlos Spice.
All right, I'm going to have to call you out on cultural appropriation for the shitting egg rolls comment. Anyway.
She would reference, well, that's from Family Guy when they're going covert and Peter is insisting on a pseudonym and he calls himself Carlos Spicy Wiener, so go check that out as well. And finally, the Guns N' Roses show. You know what? The U.S. Bank Stadium sucks major balls because it's got bad acoustics. It's all iron and glass, and the band themselves were awesome. They had a great eclectic set. I just couldn't hear a fucking thing, and it really pissed me off because I left there with such a bad case of tinnitus. The Deftones open, I couldn't hear through them, hear them at all. Considering the fact that they play the music they play, it sounded like they had their PA hooked up to boombox speakers or something like that. Great eclectic set that Guns N' Roses, though, including the likes of Coma and Estranged and some other great stuff, including a few tracks from Chinese Democracy, but must be an Axl's contract or something. But all in all, a great show. Just wish I could have heard it. Got myself a T-shirt and everything. So not bad for $35, but
You actually got a good deal for a $35 ticket.
No
T-shirt
shit.
or the ticket?
The ticket.
Because when I saw him at Soldier Field, it was $75, and we sat in probably comparable seats.
Okay, so
Wow.
he's on the same tour that you saw.
Yeah.
Did they do like an acoustic part of the whole?
No,
or
they
was it
never.
just full band.
Just full band the whole time. Did somebody just fart?
What was
The
that?
hell was that? Literally, I can blame it on the dog, I guess. He's
I
sitting
heard
behind
that.
me. All right, so let's finish up with Jesse here.
at least I didn't pay upwards to $500 like most people, and they had a shitty experience. So we'll have to see what happens. Oh, by the way, the WWE thing, it was an NXT show, and that was pretty much the indie label version of WWE. A lot of fun. That's about it from the land of sky blue waters. This is Minnesota Jesse signing off. Peace, bitches.
Wasn't the land of sky blue waters? Wasn't that Ham's beer? Wasn't that their tagline that they were from the land of sky blue
I think
waters?
so. And they had that cartoon bear.
The bear, yeah.
Yes.
Ham's
We're getting really
refreshing
old
beer
school,
with Ham's.
early to mid 80s.
I don't know, but it
Oh, that was late 70s. Yeah.
smells like a fresh array of deli meat down here.
I got nothing to do with that.
I
Stuff.
have wow.
Bree loves that description, by the way.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Jesse, for your contribution to
thank
this
you,
week's
Jesse.
show.
Thanks, Jesse.
We will try to find another assignment for you to remote in on here soon.
He needs to go to Fargo for the
He's
season premiere of Fargo.
That's hilarious because, like, on his Facebook account, he's constantly in Fargo.
I know.
So
I know it's not that far of a stretch for him. So, yeah, when they do the season premiere of Fargo, he needs to go to Fargo and report on Fargo.
Take a picture with a wood chipper.
he was kind of funny looking. He was uncircumcised.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you know?
Da.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for tonight. What do you think, guys?
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds
All
good to
guys.
me.
Well, for Pop Goulash this week, I'm Reuben.
I'm Carlos Spicy Wiener.
And as always, it's producer Jake. Thanks for having me back.
All right. Thanks for coming back. Be kind to each other. Will you stop bumping the fucking table? Jesus Christ. Carlos, you're fired.